Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us. This is the main news on Camnet TV. My name is Sylvia Zulu. Here are the top stories making headlines in our news tonight. FDD leader NAWAKWI threatens legal action over MOPANI copper mining deal. Mother and son pleads not guilty to murder of husband. An NGO predicts increase in poverty levels this year. In international news, over 90 people killed after boat sinks in Mozambique. And in sports news, MWAPE hints of changes to turn tables around for the return leg in Morocco. I will be back with the details after this break.
Enjoy the benefits of an instant loan with us ranging from 1,000 kwacha to 750,000 kwacha paid express once collateral is viewed, valued and verified. Call us on 0763 595 359 or 0779 432 993. Classified Financial Express, here as your financial friend.
Thank you so much for staying with us. And now the news in detail. Residents of Mapanza in Southern Province have commended government for its timely effort in the distribution of essential medicines and medical supplies in selected areas of Southern Province. One of the residents, Susan Hambulu, expressed gratitude that government, through the Zambia Medicines and Medical Supplies Agency, ZAMSA, has put effort for the efficient procurement and distribution of medicines and supplies. Meanwhile, Mapanza Rural Health Center Sister in Charge, Chilala Shimba, confirmed the positive status of drug availability. She said this when ZAMSA conducted an inspection at Mapanza Rural Health Center, where it established that the facility has achieved over 90% availability of primary health care supplies.
Mapanza residents in Choma district of Southern Province are celebrating a significant milestone in healthcare accessibility. The residents of Mapanza have expressed satisfaction as they find accessing medicines easier than ever before. This revelation came to light when the Zambia Medicines and Medical Supplies Agency ZAMSA visited Mapanza Rural Health Center to access the availability of primary healthcare supplies. ZAMSA has embarked on a spot check on the availability of essential medicines and medical supplies in selected areas of Southern Province.
So Mapanza ujibadiraja Mapanza kotusirigirwa baratupamisa mujindi notujiswa. So turumba hurumende itutumina misamu njo tusirigwa ujibadiraja Mapanza. Barumba batupamisa mugabazwidiriya weyambere ushitati gatupona kumarwa zingotujiswa.
Meanwhile, Mapanza Rural Health Sister in Charge, Chilala Shimba, indicates that the facility has been performing well in terms of drug availability, particularly since receiving the third batch of health center kits from ZAMSA.
The Rural Health Center is a facility with a population of 16,224. We have 11 zones. We have, I think, on monthly OPD attendance, an average of 1,000 plus. So we've been receiving drugs from Zambia. We received 4 kits. That was in March, and these kits are supposed to run us up to 2 months. We've opened 2, and we've I think remained with 2 more because we're primary health care, and what we have in the kit is what we're supposed to use as a facility. For the other commodities that we need as a facility, we get from DHO. I think for now we don't have a problem with drugs, short for drugs. We are okay because what isn't in the kit we order from DHO and we're given.
So what has been the impact of these health center kits that are coming, on which you are receiving?
They've really helped a lot in our quality of service delivery, because we are able to give the clients what they need, and we're not on shortfall of any. So they've really helped a lot.
According to the sister in charge, the facility has reached over 90% in terms of primary healthcare supplies.
These 4 kits in 2 months. We received one in March. So, I mean, the consignment in March, and we still have 2 more that are not opened, which means these will carry us to the time that we receive the next kits. So we'll have what we need available at the facility. Keep up with the good work and make sure that we receive the available consignment in time.
Chanda Mwango for Camnet News.
Support for Poverty Reduction in Zambia, SPRIZ, has bemoaned the escalating poverty levels in the country amidst the challenging economic landscape. In an interview with Camnet News, Organization Programs Manager Rhoda Banda underlined the adverse effects of the ongoing hardships, citing their detrimental effects on the livelihoods of citizens in the country. She stressed the need for immediate and proactive governmental interventions in averting the further rise of the crisis.
With the economy in decline, the financial stability of numerous families has been called into question. Rising living costs and a struggling economy have made it increasingly difficult for families to make ends meet. According to the Jesuit Center for Theological Reflection, JCTR, a family of 5 in Lusaka is expected to spend over 10,600 kwacha to cover their basic needs and nutrition basket. However, this far exceeds the average monthly salary of a regular Zambian in formal employment, which stands at around 4,000 kwacha. This disparity has left many families struggling, especially those whose breadwinners are in informal employment and earn even less. The situation is expected to worsen as the Support for Poverty Reduction in Zambia, SPRIZ organization, predicts an increase in poverty levels in the country this year.
Economic situation that we are facing as a country entails that poverty levels have gone high. This is because the kwacha has been depreciating over time, and which has made the cost of goods and services go high, and therefore the demand for goods and services has been reduced generally. And secondly, the fact that the kwacha is depreciating, it has also meant that fuel prices have gone high because transportation of goods is generally very high. And thirdly, the fact that ZESCO has been load shedding the country, it has taken away some productive hours from citizens when they are supposed to engage in productive activities that can help revive the economy. And therefore, this in itself, when you look at all these factors together, they have the potential to increase the poverty levels among citizens in the country. Now, when you look at the food...
Load shedding, the unstable currency exchange rate, and rising fuel costs are taking a toll on families across the nation. With these challenges continuing to mount, families are finding it increasingly difficult to afford basic necessities. The Support for Poverty Reduction in Zambia has since advocated for the creation of a business-conducive environment, promotion of job opportunities, and the implementation of social protection services for vulnerable households in averting the crisis.
The food basket, which is at 10.6 at the moment. Looking at that, the remedy to this would be the government should consider reducing the cost of doing business, especially for small and medium enterprises. It's important for government to put up mechanisms that will ensure that the cost of doing business is reduced. And secondly, government should also look at creating employment opportunities, especially for the youths. And thirdly, I would say government should increase funding to social protection programs so that a number of vulnerable children, or rather vulnerable population, can access these social protection programs.
Chanda Mwango for Camnet News in Lusaka.
A governance expert, Brebna Changala, says there are serious reservations regarding the recent acquisition deal of MOPANI copper mines, citing numerous ambiguities that demand clarification from the government. In an exclusive interview, Mr. Changala underscored the necessity for parliamentary approval in any asset sale, emphasizing the legal framework surrounding such transactions. He claims the recent contradicting statements from the head of state are causing uncertainty around the MOPANI deal.
On the
6th of April, whilst commissioning the Lusaka International Aberration Center, His Excellency the President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, said while many people think Mopani copper mine belongs to the government, it actually belongs to creditors. The President stated that his government labored to negotiate the Mopani deal. In his words, "I know many of you saw Mopani as a 100% company owned by the government. It is not like that. Mopani belongs to creditors. That's the truth. So when I hear my friends in the opposition talking about the Mopani transaction and demeaning the value of that transaction, I simply feel sorry for people genuinely. It is either out of ignorance or just spite. Mopani belongs to creditors," the President stated. But governance expert Brebna Changala has questioned why the head of state went all the way to the Copperbelt province and informed Zambians that government had secured and sold shares to a new investor, International Resources Holding. He says the Mopani deal is a big dirty deal and soon the truth will be revealed.
This Mopani deal stinks. And the pungent smell, you can get it 2,000 kilometers away. And it will catch many like a net in a river. Truth takes long to arrive. Lies were celebrated on that day. And people were made to march to community house to celebrate the sale and give accolades to the Almighty Hakainde Hichilema. But the truth must be told and should be told.
Mr. Changala says the contradicting statements from the President and the Mines Minister shows how much the country lacks good leadership. He says national assets, according to the law, cannot be sold off without approval from the National Assembly. He has therefore called on the UPND administration to clearly state the owners of the Mopani mine and how the country has 49% shares if at all the mine belongs to creditors.
Mr. Hakainde must clearly state, 1, who are these creditors who owned Mopani? Secondly, who gave the Zambian people 49% shares? But lastly, I'm inviting the former Minister of Mines, the one who handled the exit of Glencore, Richard Musuka, of the former administration, to clearly state what were the departure conditions of Glencore from Mopani. Did they leave it in the hands of the Zambian government? Did they leave it in the hands of the creditors? And why was the Zambian government involved in the negotiations if they had no role to play, as clearly stated by Mr.
Cherish Sibote for Camnet News, Lusaka.
Meanwhile, Forum for Democracy and Development President Edith NAWAKWI has hinted intention to pursue legal action regarding the Mopani copper mining deal with the Dubai-based company IRH. NAWAKWI alleges that the deal lacks transparency and does not serve the interests of the marginalized Zambians. The opposition leader was speaking shortly after the adjournment of her trial on charges of kidnapping and threatening. Feluna and Milton Hatembo said for April 15th.
In a scheme of transfer pricing, those were the issues in the London ports that Glencore was facing on. So, as far as I know, we shouldn't have owed them more than what we have paid. That's exactly what I'm saying. And Musokotuane and the president have confirmed. Now I want the president to tell me under what arrangements Glencore is being seen as having owned MOPANI. Because the president clearly says the mine belongs to the creditors, and he mentions the MOPANI. I want to know how and why. And so these are serious issues of impropriety by the government's agents and their friends. And I think that when we talk, I'm glad Msobotuane has come out and started to talk, but we want the records, we want the contracts. We want to know what has gone on. These people are giving our silver spoon to the foreigners. It's okay to give Matthew Posa MOPANI, but it's not okay to give a Zambian a port in Namibia. So it's like they have a phobia of Zambians owning these assets. So these are issues that we need to discuss. Personally, I feel that maybe we need to approach the court to let us understand as to why they didn't go before Parliament. I personally think that this is a very serious issue which we need to approach the court to ask the court as to why these people have breached the laws with impunity.
The Evangelical Fellowship of Zambia EFZ Executive Director Bishop Andrew Mwenda has urged the government to cease its alleged practice of intimidating individuals who voice dissenting opinions. Bishop Mwenda labeled the case of Father Chewe Mukosa, who was summoned by the Zambia police in Dola following remarks made during his Good Friday message, as unfortunate and unnecessary. Meanwhile, ruling UPND Lusaka Province Deputy Youth Spokesperson Phineas Pumulo says there is need for factual commentary from the church on matters of national importance.
Ndola's St. Joseph Catholic Parish priest, Father Chewe Mukosa, has been making rounds on social media after his Good Friday message went viral. On the 6th of April 2024, Father Chewe Mukosa was summoned by the Ndola police for investigations in relation to the Easter Friday prayers conducted by the church, where he talked about load shedding and the high cost of living, which did not sit well with some sections of society. The summon was later retracted by the police.
The Zambia Police Service issues this message to Father Chewe Mukosa in response to the recent call-out issued to him by the Copperbelt Division. We urge him not to report to the Copperbelt Division as per the call-out issued to him. After reassessment of the situation, it has been determined that there is no need for his immediate appearance or involvement in any ongoing investigations or inquiries.
But this action has raised eyebrows to how the government has chosen to react to any person who issues statements that contradict the ruling party. It is for this reason the Evangelical Fellowship of Zambia is calling on the government to desist from this habit and accept criticism from everyone. Speaking to Camnet News, Bishop Andrew Mwenda says the sermon was unnecessary.
This idea where all the time when somebody makes a comment contrary to their position, they would want to either call that person the police or say the person has abrogated the law or so. That should not be. Okay, so the comment on the arrest of Father Mukosa, or rather the call for Father Mukosa to the police, is not necessary, not at all. It should not have been there at all. So the church stands in the fact that it's not right to continue the way they are doing it right now.
However, UPND Deputy National Youth Chairperson Phineas Pumulo says the clergy must be factual when issuing such statements and not sideline the good things the current administration is doing.
The clergymen are criticizing or advising the government. They should talk about the negative and the positive that the government has done. Because you can't tell me that 2 years, 7 months of President Hakainde Hichilema has done completely nothing. So I want to encourage the pastors and women and men in Kora that whenever you want to advise the government, tell us the negative things that the government has afforded to deliver and the positive things that the government has delivered, so as to not to sing that you are siding. Because we know where you're coming from. PF used to beat us.
Cherish Sibote for Camnet News, Lusaka.
The state has dropped the forging of NRC case against former Road Transport and Safety Agency RATSA Chief Executive Officer Zindaba Soko. When the matter came up Monday morning, the state informed Lusaka Magistrate Irene Wishimanga that they had an application to withdraw the charge against Mr. Soko. The state withdrew the matter pursuant to Section 88 of the Criminal Procedure Code. In this matter, Mr. Soko was jointly charged with Kelvin Kisambara for the alleged offense of forging a national registration card in the name of John Tembo. The incident is believed to have occurred between 1st January 2023 and 17th July 2023. Anti-Corruption Commission prosecutors asked the Lusaka Magistrate Court Monday morning for an adjournment, citing failure to print crucial court documents as continued power cuts impeded their efforts. The prosecutors were forced to seek an extension due to these unforeseen challenges, disrupting proceedings in the ongoing trial of former Ministry of Defense Permanent Secretary Stadi Mwale. However, lawyers representing the accused asked the court to dismiss the matter for want of prosecution. The matter is in relation to the failure to comply with the law relating to the procurement of the presidential Gulfstream G650 jet for want of prosecution.
Of four state prosecutors handling the case in which former Minister of Defense Permanent Secretary Stadi Mwale and others pleaded not guilty to 4 counts of willful failure to comply with the law relating to the procurement of the Gulfstream G650 presidential jet to ask for an adjournment on grounds that they did not file their affidavit of service because it was huge and could not be printed out on time because of power cuts. Appearing before Chief Resident Magistrate Davis Chibili Monday, State Prosecutor Sylvia Muntanshi informed the court that the state needed time to file in witness statements, which is large as ordered by the court, but could not manage due to power cuts. But defense lawyers comprising Leon Lemba, Miuna Katolo and others asked the court to dismiss former Ministry of Defense Permanent Secretary Stadi Mwale's matter for want of prosecution. The defense lawyers objected to the state application to adjourn the matter, stating that the reasons given were not compelling and the application is prejudicial to the accused. Mr. Katolo further argued that the reasons given by the state of ZESCO power cuts do not add up because the state knew when they were supposed to submit before the court. But in rendering a ruling, Chief Resident Magistrate Davis Chibili allowed the state's application to adjourn the matter, stating that the accused will not in any way be affected. In this matter, Mr. Mwale is facing all 4 counts, while his co-accused Isabel Chinji, Michael Mbebe, Evaristo Sakala, Frank Sinyangwe, and John Piri are only facing 1 count of willful failure to comply with the law relating to procurement, contrary to Section 34, subsection 2b, as read with Section 41 of the Anti-Corruption Act No. 3 of 2012 of the laws of Zambia. The court has since adjourned the matter to May 2, 2024 for a status conference. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
Former Ministry of Finance Assistant Director Mildred Kasase, who allegedly murdered her husband in 2023, has pleaded not guilty. The accused, who is jointly charged with her 20-year-old son, Madiba Zulu, denied the charge of murder Monday morning when they appeared before Lusaka High Court Judge Irene Mbewe. According to a statement issued by police spokesperson Ray Hamonga, last year the duo allegedly ganged up in beating the deceased, Alex Zulu, using a plank and other kitchen utensils.
The public is at pains following the death of a Lusaka woman alleged to have been murdered by her husband, who later took his life last week. A former assistant director officer at the Ministry of Finance and National Planning, Mildred Kasase, and her 20-year-old son, Madiba Alex Zulu Jr., accused of murdering her husband, Alex Zulu, has pleaded not guilty to the charge leveled against them. Clad in heels, a suit, while hiding her face, the calm-looking Mildred Kasase and her son appeared before Lusaka High Court Judge Irene Mbewe Monday, and the accused took plea after confirming that they understood the offense leveled against them. On 20 December 2023, the Lusaka Magistrate Court committed the accused to the High Court, as the offense hanging on the heads of the accused is only triable at the High Court. Ms. Kasase 48, and her son Madiba, 20, are charged with murder contrary to Section 200 of the Penal Code, Chapter 87 of the Laws of Zambia. Allegations are that Mildred Kasasa and Madiba Zulu, between July 28th and 29th, 2023, in Lusaka, jointly and whilst acting together, murdered Alex Zulu Sr. In a statement last year, police spokesperson Ray Hamonga explained that the deceased went out for business within Lusaka and came back home late while the wife had gone to visit her friend. Mr. Hamonga said later the wife called her son and instructed him to pick her up from the friend's house using the same vehicle the husband was using, but the vehicle was not available as her husband was still out, resulting in the wife getting upset and decided to use other means of transport going back home. It is alleged that upon arrival, the accused ganged up with her children, one aged 18 and Madiba Zulu aged 20, beating her late husband using a plank and other kitchen utensils. However, relatives of the deceased got suspicious of the circumstances surrounding the death of their relative and requested for a postmortem to be conducted. Mr. Hamonga in the statement further revealed that on August 8, 2023, at around 12:30 hours, the deceased body was exhumed and a postmortem was conducted at the graveyard, which disclosed that the deceased sustained a broken hand, leg, ribs and general body pains. Trial in this matter commences on Thursday, 18th April 2024. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
You're watching the main news on Camnet TV. We now take our first set of commercials. I will be back with more news after the break.
Potatoes, the unsung heroes of flavor. From crispy chips to creamy mash, potatoes are the versatile superstars of your kitchen. Grown with love by our dedicated workforce drawn from around the community of Palavana. Savenda Farm's commitment is to see to it that we have potatoes that are grown right, healthy, big and tasty. For that quick fix or big celebration or that meal that brings family together, top chefs rely on the Savenda potato to create culinary masterpieces. And for others, it's that icebreaker to a delightful conversation. So, embrace the magic of Savenda potatoes. They're not just a side dish, they're the heart and soul of your kitchen. Savenda, save nations, develop Africa.
Are you looking for a reliable and efficient courier company with international standards? Then let UBZ Courier, your trusted partner in swift and secure deliveries, be your ultimate choice. Whether it's a small package or a hefty consignment, UBZ Courier handles it all, locally and internationally. Our modern call center ensures personalized attention for every client. For seamless deliveries within Zambia and beyond, trust UBZ Courier. Call us now on +260 763 062 680 or visit us at plot number 15 Mwapona Road, Woodlands, Lusaka, Zambia. UBZ Courier, a world-class brand that can be trusted.
With this impending drought, it's time we look to alternatives of sustaining our crops. We as ISDP are promoting irrigation and water harvesting as the solution to challenges posed by climate change. Watch our 13-week series as we unfold the solutions for our crops. Catch us every Monday at 2040 hours, repeats every Tuesday at 1910.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We'll now continue with more news. Vice President for the Magistrate and Judges Association of Zambia, Majaz, Justice Edward Musona, has urged all judges and magistrates across the country to uphold integrity and avoid corruption in the execution of their duties. Justice Musona made this statement during the Western Province triennial election held in the Mongu Municipal Council chamber. Furthermore, Justice Musona emphasized the need for unity among Majaz members and urged them not to delay judgments as it could compromise the integrity of the legal system.
Magistrate and Judges Association of Zambia Majaz recently held its elective conference at the Mongu Municipal Council chambers with magistrates and judges from across the province in attendance. In an interview with Camnet News, Vice President Justice Edward Musona highlighted the crucial role that judges and magistrates play at the cornerstone of the judiciary's core mandate, which is to impartially and competently adjudicate matters brought before them.
We are here to advise our members that we, the adjudicators, are the mirror of the judiciary. The public looks at the judiciary, the public sees the judiciary through we, the adjudicators. Meaning, therefore, the way we handle our litigants in our courts and at our courts, the way we handle the matters that come before us, the time it takes to dispose of a matter, all these are matters of essence. People come to court not to come and pass time, not to come and waste the time, but to come and resolve their disputes.
Justice Musona emphasized the importance of transparency within Majaz regarding how cases are handled.
And the longer it takes us, the adjudicators, to dispose of a matter before us, the more harm might arise while the case is at our hands.
He urged Majaz members to avoid unnecessary delays in resolving cases.
But of the judiciary in its entirety regarding backlog of cases, the time that it takes to dispose of a matter from the time when it is filed in our registry to time of its disposal. We have heard the complaints. We are here to advise our members. The advice to our members is to avoid any type of conduct which might put their reputation and by extension the reputation of the entire judiciary in public odium.
Musebo Kabira, Camnet News in Mongu District, Western Province.
The Zambia Civil Liberties Union, ZCLU, has challenged the Police Public Complaints Commission, PPCC, to assist in restoring order and sanity among police officers. Union Executive Director Isaac Mwanza says the PPC should utilize the recent launched service delivery charter aimed at receiving and investigating complaints against police action from the general public. He notes the introduction of the Police Public Complaints Commission, PPC Service Delivery Charter, stressing its importance as it outlines the steps that have to be taken for an ordinary citizen to report the police officers for any professional misconduct. However, Mr. Mwamba notes that although the introduction of the service charter is progressive, more needs to be done to ensure that other people are aware of the Commission's existence.
Charter is very, very important in that it outlines the steps that have to be taken for a citizen, an ordinary citizen, to report the police for any professional misconduct. It's going to change the landscape, but it can only do so if it is popularized. there is need for the Police Public Complaints Commission to go around and sensitize the people. They must engage the media. They must engage civil society organizations to ensure that the public is sensitized about this service delivery charter. There is need to print the copies of this charter, simplify them and put them in the police stations, so that even those that have not heard about the charter, immediately they walk into a police station, they should be able to know where to report, they should be able to see the number they can call. And this is where the civil society comes in partnership with the Police Public Complaints Commission. Otherwise, it's a good step in the right direction, but I think there's more that needs to be done to give this commission teeth. As it stands now, this commission doesn't have so much teeth. They can only end at making recommendations, and those recommendations usually are rejected. And that is why the people sometimes find it difficult to go and report when they know to say no action will be taken, people still remain in their positions, it becomes a challenge. So there's a lot that the commission needs to do now, especially in partnership with civil society and also the media, which will be very, very crucial. Our people need to know what the work that this commission is doing. If they're going to be doing it alone as a commission, they will not achieve the desired result.
The construction of a maternity wing at Luansobe Clinic in Mufulira District's Kankoyo constituency, funded by the Constituency Development Fund (CDF) at a cost of 1.1 million kwacha, is nearing completion. Ministry of Information and Media Director spokesperson Henry Kapata, who inspected the project, highlighted the government's commitment to enhancing maternal health care accessibility. Mufulira Town Council Chisanga Musongole emphasized the project's significance in addressing the needs of expectant mothers in the community. Meanwhile, Mufulira District Health Director Dr. Kambole Mpande emphasized the anticipated positive impact of the Ministry of the Maternity Wing on maternal health care services in Mufulira.
Construction of the maternity wing at Luansobe Clinic in Mufulira District's Kankoyo constituency, costing 1.1 million kwacha under the Constituency Development Fund (CDF), is nearing completion. Ministry of Information and Media Director spokesperson Henry Kapata, who inspected the project, stated that the initiative reinforces the government's dedication to enhancing maternal health care accessibility.
Each and every health institution must have a provision of a maternity annex, and we can see that this one is one of the special ones. We're looking at the community Kankoyo, the number of people that live here.
Mufulira Town Clerk Chisanga Musongole highlighted the significance of the maternity wing in addressing the needs of expectant mothers in the community.
Kankoyo is one of the, among the three, the poor constituency, where we found the most vulnerable people in Kankoyo. So moving it was really terrible for our people, the women, from here up to town center. Because where we are here, we still have over 20 kilometers up to the furthest point from here.
Mufulira District Health Director Dr. Kambole Mpande outlines how the completion of the facility will improve maternal health care services in Mufulira.
Usually they come here and the ambulance picks them to take them to the hospital. Now that we've got the delivery center here, they will not be going so far around.
The impending completion of the maternity wing has elicited a collective sigh of relief among residents.
When I kutinaleta kukutotela kafyo tenet yaba MOPANI and fueba ati da ukwete impia wala enda shine elo wa moto kana pakuya mukumukukinga kana nao da impia.
During his visit, Mr. Kapata also checked on the availability of medicines at the facility.
In the communities, nobody's talking about drugs anymore.
Okay.
You've noticed the government is really doing a good job in terms of drug supply.
In terms of drug supply?
Yes. We are constantly receiving drugs from Zamsa.
Rachel Chisulo, Zanis, Mufulira.
We now take our last break. I will be back with some international stories as well as sports news. Stay tuned.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished.
Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RenGlow, your smart irrigation partner.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those who have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. Camnet TV is on channel 274 on DSTV, channel 25 on GoTV, and find us on channel 106 on Topstar. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
In international news, more than 90 people were killed off Mozambique's northern coast on Sunday when the makeshift ferry they were traveling in sank, according to local media. The boat was carrying 130 people, including many children who were attempting to make the crossing to Mozambique Island from Lunga in Nampula province. Nampula Secretary of State Jaime Neto was reported as saying that misinformation about an alleged cholera outbreak caused people to panic and board the boat. Here's a roundup of international news.
More than 90 people were killed on Sunday after a makeshift ferry they were traveling in sank off the northern coast of Mozambique. Traveling from Lunga in Nampula province to Mozambique Island, the overcrowded boat was carrying 130 people, including many children, when it sank, according to local media reports. The passengers were reportedly attempting to flee an alleged cholera outbreak. Rescue efforts have continued on Monday, with only 5 out of 130 people rescued so far. Mozambique, Zimbabwe and Malawi have been battling a deadly cholera outbreak in recent months, with Nampula province one of the worst affected areas.
A dump site stretching as far as the eye can see on the outskirts of the Kenyan capital Nairobi. Smoke rising as people burn garbage to make space for more. As countries mark World Health Day, the World Health Organization has highlighted air pollution as a top danger. But the toxic fumes do not stop people from scavenging here for anything that might be worth selling. We face a lot of problems here. For example, the smoke nowadays is a lot. Even breathing is a problem, and you cannot see who's in front of you. But I have nowhere to go, and nothing else. But toxic fumes from dump sites are not the only issue. Pollution from heavy traffic in the capital and other major cities is also to blame for respiratory problems in Kenya, with experts arguing that government needs to be more involved in achieving good health care for its citizens.
It is fantastic that the World Health Organization is advocating for access to health, universal access to health, has identified air pollution as a major driver of ill health. But this requires a lot of regulation and backing from governments. So commitment to invest in health infrastructure, what we call health systems thinking and health systems strengthening, to bring so many resources together to try and create proper access to care for especially poor populations. There is an initiative that is going on to move women from cooking with charcoal and firewood in Kenya to try and use cleaner fuels.
The WHO theme this year, My Health, My Right, aims to raise awareness about health and well-being, especially with regards to priority areas like air pollution.
Air pollution is caused by emissions from vehicles that burn fossil fuels, also from greenhouses, as well as the garbages. These pollutants in the environment affects the respiratory system, affects the cardiovascular system, which might also lead to premature death. WHO is advocating for strong and bold policies around the use of clean fuel and energies.
But the hope of clean air seems a long way off for the people who rely on pickings from the Dandora dump site for their survival.
Tamba Bokari had dreams of becoming a chief executive someday, but his dream became a nightmare when he first started smoking kush in 2021. Now he says he's turning his life around for good after quitting in February this year.
I had to reflect my mind back from all the challenges I have been through in the past, and I realized that I was responsible for some of these challenges that have happened in my life. I also reflected on the positive side and realized there's a better room for improvement for me to make it up in life. So that's why I decided it's never too late for me in life.
Massa has suffered from the devastating effects of kush, and she is currently in a withdrawal stage.
I have pleaded with the authorities and the government to help me get into rehab in order to flush out my system. So I will stop taking kush, and I promise after quitting I will join hands in fighting against kush in this country.
Meanwhile, activists and volunteers continue to raise awareness and support those affected by drug abuse.
Now that government has now put a state of emergency on kush, we should use the other apparatus or the setup stage that was done for COVID and Ebola for us to use those structures, community structures, health structures, and psychosocial structures, and the community empowerment structures.
Sierra Leone's Ministry of Health estimates an increase in reported kush cases from 47 in 2020 to over 1,800 hospital cases in 2023, although solid data is yet to be provided.
Number of physical injuries that is sustained as a result of the use of kush. Then psychologically there is this dependence where the patients become dependent on the substance such that they cannot do anything without using the kush. First thing in the morning, they have to make sure they refill with the kush, and then later on, as the day goes by, they continue the use.
People in Sierra Leone are hopeful that with collective efforts, there's hope for a brighter and a drug-free future.
After the declaration of a national emergency on drug and substance abuse, there's a growing call from Sierra Leoneans to cut the supply chain. Eric Kawa reporting for Africa News in Freetown, Sierra Leone.
In sports news, Copper Queens coach Bruce MWAPE has hinted that he will make changes to his starting 11 against Morocco in the second leg of the Paris 2024 Olympics final round qualifier on Tuesday. Speaking to the media, MWAPE indicates that training has advanced as the Copper Queens are eyeing to overturn the loss they suffered at home soil. He says the tactical changes which will be made are key in determining positive results in favor of the Copper Queens by ensuring that they are clinical when chances are created. Last week, the Copper Queens suffered a 2-1 loss at the hands of the Atlas Lioness in March held at the Levi Mwanawasa Stadium.
Tomorrow's game, I think it will not be easy because we are trailing at the moment, but that doesn't mean that we have lost hope, and what we want is to make sure that we fight back and qualify to the Olympics, France Olympic. I can say pressure is not there. The team is ready to play the last game with the hope of attaining the tables. The difference between this game and Ghana, I think Ghana, where I can say it's a better side than the Moroccans. So if we just concentrate much, I personally feel we can qualify. The girls are actually determined to turn the tables because they know that Morocco is not a threat to us. We have played them 3 times, and out of 3 times we managed to, like we have said, the other one was a draw. Even looking at the game that we played home, I think we had a chance. We had a lot of chances which we created, and if we had combated those chances, we could have won the game by a big margin. But nevertheless, even this time, I think we will be able to create more chances and carry the day. Of course, there will be a few changes. I can say maybe 2 or 3 changes in the team, and some tactical approach. We'll make sure that we each change at least a few tactics. Okay, today we'll tell them that we should just be cautious. We shouldn't actually allow any goal, if anything, because we are the ones who want more goals. So we'll make sure that they should make sure that we don't allow a goal. Chances created should be converted into goals.
That's it for our main news tonight. Here's a recap of the stories making headlines. FDD leader NAWAKWI threatens legal action over MOPANI copper mining deal. Mother and son pleads not guilty to murder of husband. An NGO predicts increase in poverty levels this year. In international news, over 90 people killed after boat sinks in Mozambique. And in sports news, MWAPE hints of changes to turn tables around for the return leg in Morocco. Our verse of the day is coming from the book of Jeremiah 33, verse 3. Call unto me, and I will answer, and show thy great and mighty things, which thou knowest not. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Sylvia Zulu. Good night.